Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a conversation for creatives, introverts, sapiosexuals, and all of the people entertained and who love us. I am 𝗦𝗣𝗘𝗧, the podcast host, poet, writer, and overall Afro-Caribbean Latina creative. I know that is a mouthful, but welcome to the show. Welcome to Creatively Exposed, and I want to shout out my over 30 crew. I have officially been inducted into the 30 crew. It was Valentine's weekend, so shout out to everybody in love, out of love, semi-in love, halfway in a situationship, whatever your status, self-partnered. Maya did legit just marry herself, and I just want more information, sis. And I had like 3 sips of wine, y'all, and slept way past my bedtime, and so I am in recovery. Although it is Sunday, it's Monday, but we are here, and shout out to y'all for listening, letting me know your thoughts on the previous episodes. I am always so excited and so happy to hear from anybody, all of you, and what have you. So I spent the day editing and doing the final edits, and maybe there might be imperfections here and there, but I think I'm at a point where I just want it to be good enough. And I just submitted my book to one of the big distributors, 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓, to see if I could get the print going. And I was so stressed, so stressed, because the date that I want the book to be released is March 8th. And so that is right around the corner. And sometimes I've gotten a couple of reminders from, I guess, the universe, where it's like, good enough is better than perfect and pending. And I'm just like, oh, this is loud. All right. So that's where I'm at. It may not be perfect. Hopefully there are no misspellings. Legit, I've had it edited. I've edited like 3 times. Someone else has edited. So, it hurts the Virgo in me, but I'm going to let it out into the world because I don't want to carry what it contains. What is my book about? What is the name of my book? The name of my book is Soliloquy of an Ice Queen. And my hairstylist was asking me more information about the book. Shout out to you if you're listening. And it gave me an idea to speak more about my book. Soliloquy of an Ice Queen is basically the inner dialogue of myself and maybe others. I used to get a lot that I was cold and that, I was detached, and they couldn't imagine a person like me being warm and, affectionate and whatever, right? And although, there's a lot of reasons why not to take things so personally, after more than, 2 or 3 people say this to you, in my case, men, I'm like, but they don't ever ask why. No one ever asks what happened. Were you always that way? You know? And so it got me to writing this book, not to explain myself to those people, but to show that grief can result in not wanting to be affectionate, to being defensive, to being angry and bitter and having the right to be so. And the catalyst, it turned into multiple catalysts, but the catalyst was originally the ending of a very long-term relationship that I had, where it was I feel like the most meaningful, because it was like we almost got married. And so, we did the whole living together, and it was a very in-depth relationship. Like we learned each other's nuances and could just read each other's silence. And then the way that it broke apart was devastating, in a way where at the end I asked myself, what do I do now? And so this book is a conversation to others and with myself of figuring out how to, first of all, feel these emotions without suppressing them, taking some kind of control over like the chaos of everything that was happening and channeling it into creation. Because for those 6 years, I barely wrote. And that in itself was a red flag. And so it felt like, when you shake a champagne bottle, and so, eventually the bubbles will burst the lid, the top apart. At least that's the thought process that I have about it. And I think that's what it was. It was just, it went from a lot of silence to just like, here is everything that's been suppressed. And, people change because of the experiences that they have. Some people that you think are just a horrible person and they're rude, like, you don't know what they're going through. Some people can handle masking their feelings better than others. And in my case, yes, I was an ice queen, but it was because I was protecting myself. And as I edited, I'm glad to not be able to relate to most of it anymore. To only feel like wisps of those emotions. But today it was a little harder. As I went through to the end, and I'm like, this book really just can't stay hidden here because it doesn't fit in today. This is yesterday, but it might be somebody's today. And so I wrote Soliloquy of an Ice Queen because I needed to be the most dramatic that I could be without feeling judged for it. My friend yesterday was saying that, and I agree, like, it's not that we get healed. It's that we're consistently healing and our perceptions change. You know, what seemed so painful and humongous, if truly taken care and nurtured, can just be a dull ache until it's a memory, until it's a lesson that you can take from that experience. But first you have to have the wound, and sometimes you need to just let it bleed and coagulate. I mean, this is not like the prettiest of of visions, but honestly, in order to heal, sometimes you gotta let things run their course. And I, at that time, didn't know how to let emotions run their course. I did a lot of running away and escapism because I didn't know how to deal with so much feeling. Sorry, I'm, as I said, over 30 and I got an ice pack on my knee because these aren't the same knees that I used to dance compa with. That is Haitian music. So look, We Have an Ice Queen has been 5 years in the making, almost 6. And I just want to give birth to this long incubating child of heartbreak and bitterness and love and hope and lust and passion. There are some poems that are completely in Spanish just because I wanted to translate them, but the essence of it just didn't fit. And so it's my most heaviest times, but there's so much of a me that I am no longer signifying with. And so that's my healing in this novel-length fantasy theme of an ice queen. You know, you can only see the outside. You see the big castle and you see, you know, the angry, lonely woman, but no one understands, like, it wasn't always that way. And so, like, my blurb says, she was in love once, and it's a romantic tragedy. And it's interesting for all of those who are creatives, writers, etc. I don't know why I'm messing with so much stuff and making noise. I apologize, but I don't want my computer to die. Sometimes a book like that, there's a lot more living needed to do in order to get to that part, to the parts, you know, to certain chapters, to certain poems. There's a lot of living that I had to do in between in order to get to this culmination of this book. There was experiences that I didn't know I needed until the poems came out, until I edited it, and it was like, no, this is more real here. And I don't know, like, I'm really excited about this book. I have no idea what the result will be in growth. My hardest thing is letting the universe do its thing. And so the order of the book begins with the telling of how, and then the emotions behind disarray of